Well, hello everybody. I'm so pleased it's my turn to do our assembly this week. And this week we're thinking about this word. I wonder if any of you know what this says. This week we're thinking about justice. And justice, it's a big word, is when we think about what is fair and what is right. And we think about everybody being treated fairly. And it can also mean when something's gone wrong, when somebody hasn't been treated very nicely, justice can be what happens. So I know that it's also anti-bullying week. So when we're thinking about anti-bullying week, we might think, is it fair that people get bullied? Is it fair that people get treated not very nice? It's not, is it? And so what we need is justice. We need people to be treated fairly. And we also might be thinking, if somebody is being bullied, justice, the right thing, the fair thing, would be if we went and told a grown-up that we were being bullied or that somebody we knew was being bullied, something was done. So maybe the grown-up would talk to the bully and stop them from bullying the other person. So justice is about making sure that everybody is treated fairly and that if they're not, we all work very hard to make sure that they are. Now, we're going to hear a Bible story today about justice. We're actually going to hear a Bible story about somebody who is not very interested in justice. And our Bible story comes from the Gospel of Luke, which is the third Gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, the third Gospel in what Christians call the New Testament in the Bible. And in this story, we're going to hear about a lady who she's going through something very difficult. She's got somebody who's not being very nice to her at all. And she comes to a judge. And she goes to the judge. And she says that she's not being treated very fairly. And she asks the judge for help. She asks the judge to help her to get justice. So let's listen to our story and see what happens. Jesus told his disciples a parable. He said, once there was a judge in a town. He did not care about God, and he did not care about what people thought about him. In the same town, there was a widow who kept coming to the judge. She said, there is a man who is not being fair to me. Give me justice. But the judge did not want to help the widow. After a long time, he thought to himself, I don't care about God, and I don't care about what people think. But this widow keeps bothering me. I will see that she gets justice, or she will bother me until I am worn out. Jesus said, listen to what the unjust judge said. God's people cry to him night and day. God will always give them what is right, and he will not be slow to answer them. I tell you, God will help his people quickly. So in our story, we heard that the widow, this lady here, she went to the judge because somebody wasn't treating her fairly. And she asked him for help, and she asked, and the judge just kept sending her away. He didn't care. He didn't care about justice. He wasn't thinking about what was right or wrong or what was fair for everyone, did he? But eventually, he did help the lady. But Jesus said to his disciples, listen to what that judge was saying. He wasn't helping the lady because he knew it was the right thing to do, was he? And Jesus says that God's not like that. God doesn't just help people to stop them from coming again and again and again to tell him what's going wrong. God helps people because he cares for them and because it's right and fair that everybody is treated well. So when we're thinking this week about Anti-Bullying Week, about justice, we might think to ourselves, am I treating everyone fairly? Am I being kind to people? Am I treating everybody the way that they should be treated? And we might also be thinking, am I being like the unjust judge? Have I heard somebody say to me, this person isn't being very nice to me, and have I just ignored it? Maybe this week we can all try, and I'll try too, to listen to what people are saying to us, to see if they're being treated fairly, and to think about how we can help if they're not. I think that's a really helpful thing to do in Anti-Bullying Week, to think about how we can help people who don't have justice. Now, I'm going to say a prayer. If you'd like to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end. Dear God, thank you for the stories in the Bible. Thank you for the story of the unjust judge that reminds us to treat people fairly and to listen to people when they tell us that they are not being treated fairly. Help us to look out for each other, to listen to each other, and to make sure that we are all treated the right way. Amen. Now, I hope you're all having a good week so far, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing some of you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.